Taking hold and won't let go of us now.
Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. We're drops in one ocean. Roll on.
Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice
and boldly say,
we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together, sharing gifts with the world that's waiting for a change.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Barbara Fields. I'm Executive Director of the Association for Global New Thought, and I am so happy to welcome you to the second in our series that we call the Divine Feminine Peace Spa. And we have women, mostly women and some men, who are coming to join us from many different countries. I think the most difficult time zone right now is for Europe because it's the middle of the night, but we have folks from Asia and from Middle Eastern countries, from Australia, and we love that this presence is international. And I am so delighted because, as it was last time, we're working with the members of the Saionji family who are with us again tonight from Tokyo. Mrs. Masami Saionji and her daughters Yuka, Maki, and Rika, that you're going to meet in just a moment, have become like partners in a certain study of the divine feminine and the evolving masculine, which is an idea that also New Thought spirituality embraces wholeheartedly. And we were so happy 1 year ago in April to have been invited to the Symphony of Peace prayers. My husband, Stephen Pope, and I went there. Another AG&T Leadership Council member, Wendy Craig Purcell, who is with us tonight, was also invited. And during that time, we also attended the symposium for the soul of women, which is spelled with a capital W and a capital M, because we're really talking about the divine feminine and the sacred masculine and how we all must evolve holistically and together in order to create a much more nonviolent, compassionate, and loving world. So just in order for us to begin our very exciting program this evening, I would first like to ask Stephen if he would help me by introducing you to the members of the Saionji family who are with us tonight on this call. Stephen.
It gives me great honor, as the paragraph normally starts, introduce Masami Saionji, our hostess and spiritual leader tonight. She's the chairperson of the World Peace Prayer Society and the Goi Peace Foundation and Byakko Shinkokai, which I hope we'll hear more about all three of these organizations. She's a descendant of the royal Ryukyu family of Okinawa, and she continues the work of her adoptive father, Masahisa Goi, who initiated the movement for world peace through the universal prayer, quote, "May peace prevail on earth." She has authored over 20 books in Japanese and 8 in English and other languages, including The Golden Key to Happiness, You Are the Universe, Vision for the 21st Century, my favorite title, Think Something Wonderful, Cries of Life, and Evolving with the Universe. Should I continue?
And then I will introduce you to Yuka Saionji Matsura, who is the deputy chairperson of Byakko Shinkokai. This is a spiritual organization dedicated to world peace that originated in Japan over 50 years ago, teaching the divinity of all humanity. It hosts the Symphony of Peace prayers, where religious leaders and more than 10,000 people pray together. She has a degree in law from Gakushuin University in Japan and serves on the World Spirit Youth Council.
And I get to introduce Maki, Dr. Maki Saionji Kawamura, who is the managing director of the Goi Peace Foundation and vice chairperson of Byakko Shinkokai. She unites these two organizations in the goal of peace on earth, with events including Bill Gates and Nobel laureates, and support prayer as an instrument of social change. Another thing that is very in consonance with AGNT. Maki's early experience volunteering led her to pursue a career in medicine. After receiving an MD degree from Tokai University, she spent a year studying Eastern medicine before starting her practice as a pediatrician.
Thank you. Is Rika with us tonight? Is Rika?
She will join a little bit later. She's not here now.
Oh, okay. Well, then Rika might be joining us a little later, so I'm going to introduce her briefly
Okay, she's
now.
here. She's here.
All right, good. Hello, Rika.
Okay.
Hi. This is Rika Saionji Yoshikawa, who is Vice President of the World Peace Prayer Society. And Rika believes that peace in the world will begin from peace in the inner self. She is working together with her two sisters and her mother to create inner and outer peace. So what could be better than that? Hi, Rika. So before we begin our discussion this evening, we would like to have a moment of quiet and meditation together. And I think this is the way that we can build our field of presence in a deeply sacred and spiritual way, just to create the presence in meditation together. And so I've chosen a video from the internet. Oops. Okay, sorry, we just had a little interference there while we hooked up another computer. And I would just encourage us, it's not longer than 3 minutes or so, is just to all gather in this sacred space together and share this beautiful meditation. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I felt that that was really special. So thank you again to all the attendees who are joining us tonight. We have over 320 some people signed up for this now, and many will be listening to it in the recorded version. And tonight we have many of you with us, and we're very grateful because we feel it makes a difference that you've come and shared this experience with us in real time and live, because we'll have a time later where we would like you to give some input and ask some questions. So right now, though, we're going to start with a discussion and some more learning from Masami about especially the idea in her spiritual organization that they call the divine spark. So I'm just going to start out, Masami, by asking you to tell us a little bit more about what is meant by that and why it is so important.
私はまさみって言わなくてもいいの。バーバラ、神聖というものは全人類すべての人、どんな宗教であろうと、どんな民族であろうと、言葉が言語が違うと、意識が違うと、全部すべての人に神聖が宿っている。その神聖は本来は神から宇宙神から直結した本当に光り輝くものであり、すべてがパーフェクトで整っているものである。でそれを忘れてしまって、その神聖というものを長い歴史の間にその虚実なものを信じることになる。その虚実、その虚実というのはリーダーがいいんだとか、お金持ちがいいんだとか、これだけのキャリアを持ってるんだとか、私はこれができるんだという、そういうその人類一人一人が神聖から離れた世界へ、物質の世界へ、そして目に見える世界へとつながっていて、それが本物だと、それが本当のこの地球の中で人類が生きていくためには、それを自分の中に取り入れなければ生きていかれないというものを作り上げたために、神聖というものはどんどん失われていって、目に見える物質の世界が全て尊いんだと思い込んでいる。でもそれが今のこの世の中の地球の苦しみ、それから天変地変や、そして戦争や戦いや難民や、虐殺、そういうものが起こってきた。今こそその神聖を全人類が復活する時がやってきたのです。
So I would like to explain a little bit about the divine spark. Divine spark is what all humanity has within us. No matter what religion we may believe, no matter what kind of country you're from, what language you may speak, it doesn't matter. Everyone has a divine spark, all of us within us. And the divine spark is what connects us to the bigger source, the universe, and it's perfect and it's shining and it's bright. But we forgot that we have this within us. We forgot that we are the divine spark, and we started to believe a false story from the history. So the false story tells us that we are determined of who we are by being a leader, by having money, by having career. That's what determines us. That's who we are worth. And we started to believe in the materialistic world, and we started to believe that this is the truth. This is the authentic truth of who we are, and we must live like this. And as we started to believe this story, we started to lose our divine spark and the connection with our divine spark. And we started to value those things that we can see, that we can grab and measure, and we forgot the most important truth about ourselves. That's why there were lots of conflicts started to happen, and wars started to happen, and all these negative starts to happen. It's because we forgot the truth of who we are. That's why I'm here today to share the story, the true story of who we are, that we are the divine spark.
Thank you so much. There's something special about listening to Masami answer the question in her own language, and also have Yuka then translate for us. So I want to ask another question too.
バーバラ、
Hmm?
バーバラ、バーバラ。
Yes?
その前にバーバラの申請についての意見も私に聞かせてください。
I'm so sorry, Barbara, but I also want to ask what you think, and I would love for you to add your comments and views on the Divine Spark as well.
Oh, thank you. I think I will. Well, one thing, this is very consistent with what I've learned from being part of the New Thought organization. But I think it's something that's embedded so deep in my sense of spirituality that it doesn't really belong to any one tradition or another tradition, because I have studied the world's religions for a long time. And I think that what the world's religions have to say about their mystical origins is closer to what I truly believe about the nature of not only our spirituality, but the nature of our entire being. And when you talk about divine spark, it has so much resonance with me, because I feel that it's just another set of words that we put on something that doesn't have any words at all, because it goes so far to transcend all words. And it speaks about the conscious nature of the divine and most infinitely magnificent universe itself that is no different than us. In fact, when we're really paying attention to who we are, that universe in all of its magnificence is speaking in us and through us and as us at all times. And all we need to do is get out of our ego and our mental, intellectual machinery sometimes, and remember that we have the tremendous potential that is magnificent to the extent that the entire universe is this potential. And we are none other than that. And so when you say divine spark, that's what I understand.
バーバラ、素晴らしい、ワンダフル。私が言いたいことを全部バーバラが簡単に要領よく一つ一つ分かりやすく説明してくださって、こんな嬉しいことはないです。その通りです。
Oh, it's wonderful. You complimented all the things I wanted to say, and also to share in such a beautiful, easy way so that many people can understand more deeper about the divine spark. Thank you so much.
Well, this is why I love working with you. You make me so happy. But I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to ask you, now that we're thinking about both the divine feminine and the divine evolving masculine, which is a very, very important issue in our world today. It's right up on the top of everyone's consciousness. So I want to ask you to explain what you think are the strengths of both the divine feminine and the evolving masculine, and how can we bring them into ever greater harmony?
まず、一番簡単にお話ししたいことは、2年前私は、東京で有識者を集めて、会議をしました。そしてその時に、男性性と女性性について、皆様方の意見を聞きました。その時に、ほとんどの方々がその神聖なる女性性と男性性が本当にハーモニーして、見事に男性性と女性性のバランスが取れた時に自分の困難を乗り越えられたとか、奇跡が起こったとか、そしてそれに気づいたとかっていう、本当にそのジャンルで一番リーダーとして働いている人たちがそういう答えを出したので、みんなの中にやっぱりバーバラがおっしゃるように全部男性性と女性性があるけれども、それがバランスが取れないと 女性性の中にも男性性が強く働く人と、男性性の中にも女性性が強く働く人、そしてまた両方が都合がいい時に男性性が出て、都合が悪い時に女性性が低く、だからそういうバランスがいつも崩れて、この世の中に、自分の人生の中に、子供の中に、地球の中にバランスを変えていく。そうすると、やはりそのバランスという意味で、やっぱり共通点が見えてきたのは、自分の中で、男性性と女性性が本当にバランスを取れなきゃいけないんだ。自分は女性性を発揮しながら男性性の話を聞き、そして男性性のものを取り入れてバランスを取り上げる。これが世界の、平和を築き上げることとして、例えば、ある男性の場合は仕事をしなきゃならない、こういうことをしなきゃならない、諦められない、力だ、なんとかして、成功させたい、みんなから素晴らしいと言われたい、そういう時にはやっぱりすごい男性性のその力を一生懸命捉えると、そこに女性性の、いや、そんなに落ち着いてゆっくりじっくり受容しながら、人の意見を聞きながら、そのバランスを解いたときに、本当にバランスが来たときに、自分が一番やりたいことが現実に想像されている。ですから、全部その女性性の場合は逆に説得したい。この世を自分を出したいと思っても私はできないんだ。無理なんだ。女性はそんな力がないんだという、またその固定概念に縛られて自分自身の女性性を出せない。ですから、その時にもっと男性、自分を考えてみると、ここで勇気を持って、そして語ることが大きく自分を変えていくし、そして人のためになりたいんだと、本当にそれが出た時に女性性と男性性のバランスが取れて、そこで見事にその自分の言いたいことが全ての人に分かっていく。ですからパワーをみんな持ってるその神性というものは無限なる愛であるし、無限なる成功だし、無限なる力だし、無限なる健康だし、無限なる治癒力だし、無限なる能力だし、無限なる健康、すべてを含んでいる。それを自分は見事にそれを融合させながら、自分の男性性と女性性を発揮させないバランスをとって発揮していくと、そこにその素晴らしい女性性、男性性の融合が現れる。
I would love to share with you an experience that we had. So about 2 years ago, we had a meeting in Tokyo inviting many leaders from different fields to speak about the Divine Spark. And this was initiated by the Fuji Declaration, a movement that we've started 3 years ago. And when we had this discussion, we spoke about the divine feminine and the evolving masculine, and there was one thing that came up in everyone. It was that whenever we all experience some kind of a miracle, or when we overcome some struggles in our life, or something in our life that's very difficult, when we experience that moment of overcoming that experience or experiencing miracle, we all said that there was the work of the divine feminine and the divine masculine happening together at that moment in balance. So that tells us that we all have this beautiful power within us. We all have the divine feminine and masculine within us. But the important thing was to have that to work in balance. And when we have the disharmony in each one of them, then we start to lose the beautiful essence of each other and the power that brings out when we can really work together in balance. And so when we start to lack the balance of the divine feminine and masculine that we have, then we start to lose the balance in many parts and fields of our life. For example, there was one man speaking about the work, the struggles that he had of work. And when he was only focusing on the power and then he started to be very controlsive, and he was only thinking about his own success. That's when the balance of the beauty of the divine masculine starts to fail. But then he started to give room for acceptance. He accepted what is arising, and he started to listen, and he started to have patience within himself. When that moment of the divine feminine coming and rising within him, there was a huge balance and change that overcame his struggles. Another example was that there was a person who really wanted to be of service for others, but she had so much love and she had so much hope, but she always believed that she's not good enough, that she's not worth, she's not powerful. But when she decided to bring out her divine masculine, which is the persistence or the courage to speak out, then a miracle happened within her. These are small stories about people having the both energy and quality of the divine masculine and feminine. How could we bring that into balance to really show our divine spark within us? The divine spark is the infinite power, infinite success, infinite healing, infinite ability. We have this all exists in us. And it is the question, how could we bring them into harmony in our lives?
This is so beautiful. I'm going to ask, I want to keep talking about this subject, but I would really like to ask some of our attendees if they would like to join us in this discussion for a few minutes, either just by asking a question or just making a comment about what they're thinking as we've been discussing this subject, because I think it's one that we've all done quite a lot of thinking about. So there's a way for you to raise your hand if you're a participant, and I can see that your hand is raised, and then I would be able to bring you on the screen so that you can share your comment. I encourage you to not be shy because we really want this to be a conversation. Is there anyone here who would like to share a comment or a question with us at this time? And if not, we'll just continue with the conversation, but please raise your hand at any time if you would like to join us, okay? I would like to talk a little bit more about this subject, and I think that I would like to deviate just a little bit from the questions that we were asking, because it was occurring to me that when I see young girls and young men that are many decades younger than we are, but now they've been living in a different world than the one that we grew up in, and the messages that they're receiving from their culture are different than the gender role messages that we received from our own culture growing up. And I don't believe that we've completely changed, but I believe that we've come a long way along the path, and that many girls and many young men today have a much better sense of their capability for girls to bring out their masculine strength, and for young men to think it's okay to express their feminine strength, because they're not worried that they're going to be judged in a negative way by their culture if they express both sides of themselves. And I find that that's very hopeful. It's not enough, but it's very hopeful. And we have one question, but Masami, would you like to make a comment before we take our question?
ねえ、バーバラ、とってもいい指摘をしました。この今の時代というものは、本当に女性がもう少し強くなって、声を発する、恐れね、何も恐れないで声を発する時が来たのだ。そういう時期が来たのだと、ちょっと10年前だったらとても声は出せないし、これ10年後じゃもう遅すぎてこの人類は破滅へ持っていく。今がちょうどディバインスパーク、いわゆる女性性と男性性が 調和していく時なんです。ですから、男性性も女性性の気持ちがよくわかるようになるし、女性性はいろいろ今、世界中で立ち上がってきてます。それも、恥ずかしがることなく勇気を持って立ち上がる、気持ちの奥には、やはり神性とつながって、正しいことを伝えなければ、私のような被害とか困難な人たちがたくさんいると言って、声を出してやっている。ですから、それが、今ちょうど時が来てるっていう。
So thank you so much for pointing that out, Barbara. I also believe that time has come for women to speak out and for men to be okay to be vulnerable and sensitive. And it's wonderful to know that this is happening right now, not later, not sooner. And that each one of us have this beautiful balance within us. And if we are able to tap into and really express our divine feminine and masculine, men will be able to understand and be sensitive to people's feeling, women's feeling, and women can start to really raise their voice and stand up and really work for what they believe in. And this is what it means to really connect to the divine spark and to speak out the truth, and like you said, to be the truth of who we are.
Thank you. We have a question or a comment from Sandy Hart, who is a friend of all of ours. And Sandy, I'm going to promote you now to the panelist, and we'll be able to see and hear you on the screen in just a second. Okay, I'm doing that now.
Hello. Oh, what an honor to be in this sacred circle with you all and everyone I cannot see, but I just couldn't resist this opportunity. And hello, Wendy, and thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara, and also Stephen for that beautiful introduction. It's such an honor. I'm alive inside, as I always am when I hear Mrs. Saionji speak, or her beautiful daughters. Hi, Maki, Rika, and Yuka. Hi. You know, I took full advantage of this opportunity to say hello this way, but I do want to just, I don't know if it's so much a question, and perhaps you can elaborate if you'd like, but you know, from the first time I heard your passion about this critical need that we bring into balance the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and what that means. What are the characteristics of masculinity? That it doesn't mean rough and manly. It means, you know, courageous. Like I think that was Yuka speaking, courageous and strategic and synthesizing and all of those things that bring up the architecture in our world, and then bring into balance our creativity. But when I had that aha moment from hearing this revelation, for me anyway, I was able to really transform the work that I've been doing at the Charter for Compassion, the women and girls sector, but everything I've done, but more importantly, everything in my life. I'm constantly aware of, like, it took some masculine energy to just raise my hand on this call. So I did. When Barbara said, don't be shy, I'm like, okay, that's some masculine energy. So I just want to honor you and thank you from the bottom of my heart, and tell you it's the greatest gift that I have had in a very long time and I will ever have.
Oh, Sandy, it's such a pleasure to see you, and thank you for the comments. Everyone's so happy to see you here tonight. Yeah. So, Masami, would you like to comment on that briefly before we move on to the next part of our panel?
一人一人がね、神聖に気づいた、その若い女性が、発してくれた声が、また私に勇気と希望を持って、それは事実できるんだということを、またもっと世界に声を大にして発していきたいと思う。ありがとうさん。
Thank you so much. I really think Sandy's was a wonderful example of it starts from us, and we each one of us start to think about it and have the aha moment, and to really always reflect on the moment of each one of us. And I think this is what we can do. And if everyone can start to spread living like this, sharing like this would be so wonderful. So thank you so much for bringing in your voice and bringing your divine feminine and masculine here. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you again, Sandy. And what I would like to do now is briefly introduce you to my colleague and dear friend in the AG&T Leadership Council, who also attended the Symphony of Peace Prayers in Japan and the symposium, and has been working with me and with many other people on so many of these issues from the standpoint of the fact that she is the minister of the Unity Center in San Diego, California, and has been a member of the AG&T Leadership Council since 1999, and she's helped to facilitate our dialogues with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and has helped us with conferences that we've led with religious leaders all over the world. She does wonderful work in her own church with microfinancing for indigenous communities and communities of need in other parts of the world, and also creating an avenue for some of the fair trade goods to be sold in a boutique that she has in her church, because she's so passionate about using spiritual principle to promote social change. And so Wendy had written a wonderful universal prayer for the experience in Tokyo last year. And she's with us tonight, and I have asked her if she would read her piece for us tonight and share it. Wendy?
I'm happy to do that. So I called the piece Igniting the Divine Spark, and it was written in honor of the event and as a gift to the Saionjis and to the work that they do and that we're doing together. And this is what I wrote. Gender does not, must not, define the divine feminine nor the divine masculine. The divine feminine is not some kind of goddess woman, but rather a way of being and seeing, no less important, yet no more important than the divine masculine. The divine masculine is not some sort of superhero, but rather a way of being and seeing, no more important, yet no less important either than the divine feminine. The divine feminine, the divine masculine, each resides in you, each resides in me. The divine feminine, intuitive, gentle, receptive, still, collaborative, creative, and yin. The divine masculine, analytical, strong, disciplined, active, assertive, logical, and yang. The divine feminine, the divine masculine, no longer pitted against each other, no longer torn apart. The wounded masculine healed, the buried feminine revealed. The divine feminine, the divine masculine, joined in sacred union, now dancing in holy rhythm, and in their perfect dancing, may peace prevail on earth.
Thank you, Wendy. I don't know if you all can see it, but we can see everyone clapping for Wendy's poem on the screen. That was very beautiful, and I think it speaks to a couple of the questions that I have been seeing come in here, which is for us to continually create greater clarity and definition around what exactly do we mean by the divine feminine, the evolving divine masculine. It's not a question I think you can answer in 25 words or less. And so I think that's the reason that we're meeting in the Divine Feminine Peace Spa, is to continually look at this possibility. So right now I was going to ask whether, well, first of all, I want to know if everyone has identified where the chat column or the chat box is on this Zoom platform, because I wonder if you could all start to tell me. I recognize that a lot of people are here from the United States, obviously, but what are some of the other countries that there are people here representing tonight? I wonder if you can type that into your chat box so that I can just know for myself who's with us and from where. I see Christina from, let's see, Canada. Anyone else? I see some Japanese written names, so I do know we have someone from Uruguay and from Argentina. If you're from one of the other countries outside of the United States, including Canada, Uruguay, Argentina, Japan, could you raise your hand and just greet us from your country for a moment? There's someone from Australia, from Scotland, from Spain. But it seems to me that, oh, here's Christina. I'm going to ask her to come on the screen.
Hello.
And Christina, you're joining us tonight from where?
From Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.
Okay.
Vancouver Island.
Well, thanks so much for being here. Waldemar Joswiak. Are you here with us this evening, Waldemar?
Yeah.
Can you please tell us where you're joining us from?
Right now from Warsaw. But I represent Norway, but I am staying 1 week more in Warsaw. I am going back to Oslo next week.
I see. Well, what time is it where you are now? It must be very...
Just a 3:15.
Okay. Well, thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
And let me see, David Leal Garcia.
Hi from Spain, from Madrid. Hi, Yuka. Hi, Wendy. Thank you, Barbara.
I'm trying to unmute. I'm not able to, but they would like to say hello to you as well. Everyone is waving. It's nice to see you. Thank you for letting us know that you're here. Anyone else? Let's see from another. Anyway, I think that goes to show that there's another question that I wanted to ask of Mrs. Saionji now, because I just wanted to give us an example of the fact that we're all here from many different countries and cultures because we share this same idea and we agree on so many things that are important to the transformation of our society. And so I want to ask now the question, what are the things that we can be doing to help support the emergence of the balance between divine feminine and evolving masculine right where we live? What are the things we can actively do to bring this balance more into the midst of our societies? And I wonder if we could have you, Masami, comment on that. What would help you feel supported by people in other countries? As a divine feminine leader in the country of Japan, what would help you feel supported by other people if they could help you feel as if you were embraced by an entire international community?
バーバラ、わかった？バーバラ、私が一番、今、一人一人、人類一人一人やれることは、自分自身の生き方を変えること。ただ、今の世界情勢、地球の起こっていることに対して、不満や不平や怒りや憤りや、誰がそれを救ってくれるんだ？誰だ？もうみんな人のせいにして、自分自身は何を移動するだけで、言葉を発するだけで、醜いその不安感とか恐怖を多くの人類に無差別に発することによって、ますますそれを感じてない人々がその言葉を受け取って、また、憎悪が憎悪を生み出していって増やしていく。それよりも今やらなければならないことは、本当に地球に感謝したり、お水に感謝したり、そしてその敵を見ないで自分自身の言葉とか、もう一番簡単にできることは、ありがとう、感謝する気持ちがどなたにでも伝われば、それは今までその怒りとか不安とか、そういうものを持ってる人にでも、もう本当にエネルギーとしてパワーと伝わっていく。ですから一番簡単なことは、ありがとうとか、愛を捧げるとか、小さなパンを与えるとか、自分でできる範囲で、周りの人々に、お互いに共通する助け合いとか、育み合いとか、そういうものをしていって、それがだんだん広がっていくことが大事なんだって、一人一人の行動、言動決で。
So, I would like to say that now is the time for us to change how we live. We have to stop judging and blaming and criticizing others and taking responsibility to others and depending on others, running out of fear, emanating negative words, energy. All of this is happening at this moment, but now it is for us to change this and to start with giving gratitude to nature, to look at things that we can be grateful of, and to really look at what we can say, how to find thank you in our lives. This is the easiest way that can happen for us, to offer love, to share, to start small, to start to support and help others. And also, I believe it spreads like this. And also about the divine spark, just like as an example that we shared, to look back at your own life and see when miracle happened, to see when you overcame some struggles or feels in life, and what happened to you, what was happening within you, what kind of energy, what kind of element, what kind of power was happening within you. I think it starts with each one of us, just like what Sandy said, starting to reflect oneself inside and to see the beauty and the miracle that happens within us when we have this balance. So if we can start that and start to talk to others, to start to have a dialogue around this, is what I believe starts to change the story.
Thank you so much. Now, as we're getting to the close of the program, we have a very special experience. And right before we do this, I would like to thank all of you again for participating. I'm now seeing Christine from Victoria, British Columbia, Elena from Uruguay and Argentina, David we saw from Spain, Kauruko from Scotland, Jenny Funston is in Australia with 6 people who are all watching, attending together tonight. Stephen Pope is writing that he's right upstairs. Yes, he is right upstairs in my home. Adriana from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Sonoko Tanaka lives in Italy, but is back in Japan at the moment. And we would now like to share with you with Rika, Maki, and Yuka are going to share a way of praying and creating blessing and sacred space with the gestures of the hands and the arms, which they will explain to you as they go. And it's a wonderful practice that we can all follow along with as they show us how to do this wonderful sacred prayer ceremony.
Thank you so much for letting us have this moment to share our which is our way, one way to connect to our divine source. And I'm so sorry, Barbara. My mom just really wants to share something to Wendy at this moment. Is that all right to take time?
Just 1 minute.
Oh, absolutely. We're actually in very good time, so go ahead.
ウェンディ、あなたの詩を読んで、本当にすべて私が長い文章で書くよりも、いっぺんにイメージ、誰の中でもイメージできやすい詩なので、私はそれがもう一番コアの私のメッセージだと思うので、一つだけお願い、私たちがパンフレットの中にウェンディの詩を載せていいか許可をもらうためにお願いします。もらって、また改めてもっと世界中に広めたいために。
Okay, so she just wanted to say once again how powerful your poem is and how that this can easily be imaginable for many people to understand about the divine feminine and masculine. And this is my core message. And I just wanted to ask you once again, maybe I said before, but is it all right that I share your poem all over the world, wherever I go to, so that many people can understand and hear, and rather than me speaking longly about so many in words, your poem really expresses what I mean and what I want to say in such a beautiful way. So I just wanted to share that, and thank you again.
May I ask for a favor? During the time that you were performing the inn, the people couldn't see you on the screen because your audio was muted and I couldn't unmute it. So could you do it one more time and make sure your audio is active so that the other people can see what you were doing too?
When we begin, we take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. The first movement invites the divinity from heaven. Then this moment expresses that we carry a halo and radiates light. The sign of the halo expresses the harmony of masculine and feminine, yin and yang energies. Then we bring out hand forward to receive the divinity that has descended from heaven. The sphere shows the divinity in our original self, which is the infinite love, harmony, health, forgiveness, joy, and happiness. We then bring our hands together as the masculine and feminine energies are unified. I am divinity itself. And our divinity emits divinity to humanity. Thus, each human being remembers the divinity within themselves. This divinity spreads out widely to each and every human being.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, now we really were able to get that experience. Thank you very much. Well, this is going to bring us to the end of our program today. Masami, are there a couple of closing comments you would like to make very briefly?
もうバーバラ、こんな素晴らしいこれをなんていうの、このスカイプを、もう本当につなげてくれてありがとう。これから私の方を本当にどんどん広げていって、私の最後の望みは、今年中に194カ国の人で一人でもいいからその国にディバインスパークの人が手をつなげ、みんなで世界各国の人たち一人一人がみんなつながった大きなそのユニバースを作りたいの。それまでに私は頑張りますから、皆さんお力をください。特にバーバラ、ウェンディ、皆さん方よろしくお願いいたします。
Barbara, thank you so much for hosting such beautiful webinar, the spa, today as well. And I just want to share you my dream. My wish is for there's 194 countries in the world right now. And if each one person from each country can stand up and say, yes, we are Divine Spark, and to hold hands and connect together, then we can create a universe full of the true Divine Spark story. And I really hope that this happens, and it starts from us. It starts from us coming together. So I'm just so grateful for you, Barbara and Wendy, and all the listeners here today watching and joining us. And really, this is a way to connect and start sharing this story together. So I'm just so grateful. Thank you so, so much, everyone.
Everyone, thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, next month, on March 5th, I was discussing with my Masami and Rika and Maki and Yuka that we really want to portray women, divine feminine leaders who are women from other parts of the world doing magnificent work. And so our next meeting on March 5th, our guest is going to be Ila Gandhi from South Africa, who is the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi, and she is working at the university in Durban to create some wonderful programs to teach nonviolence, especially in women and young people, and to train trainers to go out into the rural areas and make sure that the message of nonviolence and strengthening people in economically distressed situation is being looked at in her own country. So next month we'll be very grateful to have Mrs. Gandhi as our guest, and also continue to work with Goi Peace Foundation in the future and have many other guests. So I wanted to say again, thank you for being here tonight, and we will see you all next month. Bye.